Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's reading, we're doing what did your old friends think of you then versus how do they think about you now? And we have here three beautiful piles. Pile number one with the green candle, pile number two with the yellow candle, and pile number three with the black candle. Please pause the video if needed. Let's go. So for my viewers that picked pile number one with the green candle, let's find out what did your old friends think of you then versus what do they think about you now? Let's see here. What did my pile number one's friends think of them then? I'm gonna pick 6 cards. No, first I'm gonna start with 3. I'm gonna start with 3. Okay, so the Fool in reverse, Death in reverse, and the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Pile number one, your friends then, whether this is a group of people, one or two, one in specific, okay, the energy here is surrounding the same energy regardless, you know, regardless if it's a group or whatever. With the Fool in reverse, I really get a big sense of immaturity, ignorance, maybe a little bit of carelessness. Maybe you had monster drinks all morning. I'm joking. Or you wouldn't have nothing to eat all day, but maybe smokes and energy drinks or iced coffees. I don't know why that came up. Something about maybe you didn't take care of your health. There's something also about you that was very like repetitive for your old friends. They might feel like you would never change, or like you would continue to be in a certain toxic relationship, or you would continue to be maybe even toxic yourself. Okay, because I'm not getting here a stable ground. All right, I'm getting someone that is treated very small here, and that's you. Okay, maybe not somebody people will depend on, not because you have failed them, but because just because of their assumptions, they probably don't feel like you're trustworthy. You could have been left out a lot by your friends or by those that were called your friend. They could have really viewed you to be someone not really important, not really surprising. And I know because we got the Fool here. The Fool is very surprising. But it's like you're surprising. It's almost like in a bad way. Unsettled. You could get very much Leo vibes here. Virgo as well. You could have met these friends when you were 13, or you knew these friends since you were 13. Something about 13. That could be for summer 31. Okay. They definitely thought back then that you were unhinged or someone that was not going to grow up or like become an adult. And they could have also thought of you to be someone that would always be there or common. It's almost like your friends probably didn't even like you, pile number one. Honestly. And I'm so sorry if you clicked on this pile thinking that, you know, maybe your old friends really, really liked you and really, really cared about you. But that's not really the case here. It's much more like you're a disturbance. Okay, I'm so sorry, babe, but I know you're probably here for this message. All right, let's get more cards here, Spirit, on what did pile number one's friends think of them? back then? What did they, oh my god, this is such a tongue twister. What did Polymer 2's friends think about them back then? Back then? Ooh. I don't take pop-ups, guys. I just, sometimes it's my mistake, but maybe one day I will. Okay. What did they think about them then? Okay, let's go. Okay, well, now the energy has shifted. I also saw the sun. Okay, so back then they will think that you were very energetic, very youthful. Maybe someone that your friends know for a long time. I don't necessarily think that you are what your friends probably thought of you. I think you were much more smarter than they made you out to be. But the way that they thought about you back then is that you were more someone very kind, but someone that not a lot of people would meet. Like someone people are not that interested in, but someone that is interested in others and interested in different things. Okay? It's like they're highlighting this interest from others or maybe themselves. You could have always been the odd one out. Maybe you were very talented and maybe the people around you try to really humble you, or you came from a good family. Okay, the Six of Cups can also mean that. Like, you came from a good family, from a good background. Big money, okay? And if not, maybe there was something talented about you that made others around you want to humble you more. Okay? I don't know why I heard this, but your friends could have been someone you grew up in the orphanage with. Okay? I don't know who needed to hear that. They're acknowledging your youthfulness. They're acknowledging that, you know, you were really kind and never gave a reason for people to think of you otherwise. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of people's thoughts about you back then were much more assumptions. Okay? Few more cards on what do my pile number 2's old friends think about them then versus now. So we're still on then. You could have had a mind of your own as well with the Emperor. You could have had like a very expressive mind. Like maybe you were like a leader, but within yourself, because maybe you liked like comic books in general, like a lot of things that other people didn't like. Okay, so people your age wouldn't like, maybe Roblox, I don't know, anime. Your interests were very far off other people's interests. But it's like it made who you are. Okay, so it was who you are with the Justice. Your friends could have also thought you were someone that had like a lot of strict rules at home, maybe from your dad, from her father's side. But you could also been someone that didn't know that you were very wealthy or had an inheritance. So, yeah, back then your friends could have felt like you were going to remain immature, irresponsible, or not really someone that people can trust. Okay? Because maybe they could have viewed you as spoiled, or like you don't know what struggle for some. Alright? But if that doesn't relate, your friends just didn't really trust you as much because you didn't give trustworthy due to your interests. Now let's see, what do my pals, old friends think of them now? What do my old pals, friends think of them now? Let's see, what do they think about now about them? Now the Wands upright. The Six of Cups upright. Oh my god, these are the same cards. I'm gonna shuffle them again. Okay, but guys, remember, if the same cards come up, I have to read it. Let's see here. It's like all the cards that came up like in reverse the first time for the then came in up right now. Like basically saying that everything they thought about you in the beginning, it's totally different than what they think of you now. Okay? Whereas people didn't take you serious, people your old friends are now seeing you in this magnetic light. Okay? It's like you live life on your own rules. Your friends also think that you're like some sort of loner, or there's like a lot of who you are and your creativity that they don't know about. But it's like, how can you blame Pautu? You guys block them so much from being their true self, and maybe even undermined their goals and their artistic beliefs. And usually sometimes it be our friends that be around us and tell us, I don't think that'll be good for you. I don't think you can do that. Okay. And I've heard numerous stories of people who friends had told them one thing and they went with their heart, and they received what they wanted at the end. So they view you now as a dreamer, maybe an unrealistic one with the star in reverse. Okay. There is something about sexual work here. Okay. And if it's not sexual, it can also be OnlyFans. Something that has to do with that side of things. Okay. They can basically think that you are doing that right now, and if you are, that's fine. Okay. The Hermit here, yeah, explains like some solidarity, some sort of like isolation, especially with the moon together with these cards. It screams unknown, mysteriousness. It's like when back then maybe you had like this big old mouth, that's why people didn't trust you. Maybe, maybe your innocence of, just expressing yourself. Now it's like the opposite. There's like a blockage. There's like a closedness, okay? You're not going to reveal you or your mind. It's like whereas you used to reveal your mind to the world, to social media, tell your plans to the world, tell your plans to to your family, to your friends. It's like that is no longer who you are in a way. And I say that to say because not even on social media, I feel like there's a big urge to keep your ideas to yourself. Pile number one, I don't know why you had this, okay, this feeling. Let's see here. What do they think about my pal now? What do their old friends think about my pal now? The same cards. No, just the same one card. The Knight of Wands. Where people felt like you were irresponsible, your life seemed to prove otherwise. You gave very childlike vibes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you were like a late bloomer, pal number one. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like, you're giving me like comic book kid vibes. College girl with like a bunch of stuffed animals. Like, I don't know, there's just something like very youthful that it just gives of your energy. And it could have made people not take you serious for a long time. Okay? Including your friends, okay, that probably grew up too fast, all right? Um I don't know, I just feel like the people that you're asking about in specific is for a reason, because you actually want to know what they think, because maybe they weren't the best or the most positive people. But I just want to let you guys know, if you have friends where you feel like you can't be yourself, like you got to hide certain aspects of yourself, I don't think that's where it's at, because it's like you should be able to freely express yourself even around your friends. Like, I don't understand why everybody feels like we're supposed to all be the same, okay? Even in friend groups, like, it's okay to have the same likes, but it's like when you feel that, like, the odd one out in groups because of your likes or your interests, yeah, that's like really weird. Queen of Wands, something about a glow up as well. Your friends really think that your mature looks came in. You could be an older person watching this, But overall, your friends, now think that you're much more good looking. Um, you take care of yourself more. They can also think that you have very high expectations with the star in reverse. They also think of you as some. They also think of you as someone that doesn't want to reveal themselves, that doesn't want to maybe even talk to them. Last couple of cards here. What do they think about my pal now? What do their old friends think about them now? I heard since you've been gone. I don't know whose favorite song is that. I'm so sorry if my voice sounds horrendous. Um, Two of Wands, Two of Cups, Four of Pentacles, and Nine of Cups. So yeah, they look at you as such like an innovative, inspirational, always going your way type of person, always making your own path. They're looking at you as the individualist, like someone special, pile number one, and they could have never had these eyes for you. But with the Two of Cups in reverse and the Four of Pentacles, yeah. Someone very private, maybe someone that doesn't want a connection anymore with anyone in the past or even them. Put together, having it together, okay? Having your ish together, pile number one. Um, it's like you were surrounded by a lot of friends or people that thought you weren't going to amount to anything. Maybe you were just gonna be spoiled all your life. Maybe you were just gonna have fun all your life, or you were just never gonna grow up, basically. Um, and it ended up being that maybe you could even be more successful than a lot of those old friends, or even the most achievable person. Like you've achieved the most, or you've done the most in your life, or you've accomplished, or you have. Okay, so pile number one, your old friends, they're realizing and now knowing that all the ways that they undermined you only made you bigger and bigger. While they were sleeping on you, you were elevating. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for clicking on this reading. Bye, guys. So for the viewers that picked pile number two, what do your old friends think about you then versus now? And I'm super excited for this one. I don't know why I heard drama. There's a lot of drama here. You went through a lot of drama. Pile number two. Because this candle is like the lightest one from today's video. And when you're a light, babes, they're gonna always want to turn you off. And my OG people out here, they know I've always used to say that. Like, when you're a light, somebody, a goofy, is always gonna try to shut it down. Okay? The light is bothering their face. It's bothering their own lives. Anyways, let me get to the point. I love this pile. I already told y'all. Okay, let's see here. What did my pile's old friends think about them then? It could be a person, a group, whoever it is. Whoever was your friend, group of people. What do these old group of people think about you then? What did my pile's old friends think about them then? Oh my goodness. So I'm going to start with three because I'm going to talk a lot of shit today. Obsession. I'm so sorry, guys. Try not to curse, I'm trying to be in my feminine. So we have your obsession, the red shoes, the Snow Queen, loyalty, and expectations. Your friends used to really think like you were maybe obsessed with them. But if that doesn't resonate, like, hell no, I was never obsessed with them. You could have been obsessed with them. But if that doesn't resonate, because I know my viewers are not followers. I know. All right? Your old friends could have had an obsession over you. And That's how they used to think about you, with like an obsessive type of energy. Um, they could have also felt like you were obsessed with something, maybe like a career, a goal, a man, a car, a woman, anything. They just could have felt like you were obsessed over something. Loyalty next to expectations. You know, I don't think the cards are aligning with each other as much. Um, your old friends could have really thought you were someone very loyal. Or maybe someone that was obsessed with lying. Okay, so that could be something else. They could have felt like you were a liar. Um, or they could have felt like you had some intense loyalty to them. That's what they could have they could have thought, that you had so much loyalty for them, and like you expected the most about, you know, for some of you guys, these friends could have been obsessed with you, but these friends could have also felt like you were obsessed with them. Or their delusional ass really felt like maybe you were obsessed with them. Because maybe they would do tit for tat. Maybe they would be passive aggressive. Maybe they will leave you out. Maybe they will be cold. Maybe they will do messy things that maybe you didn't see. And maybe they could have felt like maybe you were obsessed with them because you will continuously take on what they will give. What expectations? They could have thought that you felt like they were more your friend than you guys get it. Basically, they felt like they were more, no, they were more your friend than you were their friend. So like, you consider them to be their your friends, but they didn't feel the same way about you. So yeah, they could have felt like you had like this intense loyalty, this intense obsessiveness. Um, let's get into it more, because I don't know, it's smelling like BS to me. It smells like BS to me, but listen, pile number two. We need to let the reading go. We need to let it marinate. All right. So let's see here. What did my pal's old friends think about them then? Yeah, like you guys could have went back and forth with these friends, or like continuously forgave these friends, or continuously went back. So they could have felt like there was like some intense loyalty there, or maybe there was like a connection with something. Um, just know that they felt like you had a lot of expectations when it came to them, or they felt like they had expectations when it came to you. Let's see here. What did they think? What did they think back then? What did my pal's old friends think back then? Transformation, promises, and wit. Okay, so now it's getting a little bit more positive, I can say. They thought of you as somebody that would always transform, whether it was like switching up hairstyles, clothes, what you do, your looks and whatnot. So they thought that you were like an inspiration when it came to like certain aesthetics, whether it's home, clothes, whatever, body, lifestyle. They also thought you were somebody that kept promises, that you would say, I'm coming over, you would come over, you would just, and then Puss in Boots with wit, somebody very loving, but also somebody that's not afraid of anything. Okay? So these old friends, they didn't think as bad as about you, but they could have felt like you cared more than you did. Or they felt like you cared more than they did. All right? With this obsessed card. Okay? Um they could have felt that they had to change how they were with you. Maybe in the beginning it was a lot of love bombing and a lot of appreciation, but then that switched. These people could have had an appreciation for your aesthetic and for your, basically your mind, basically what you liked, okay? It could really, really much be that these people could have thought you were obsessed with them or their people or their group, but the whole time they were obsessed over you and who you were and everything you got. All right? Um, there's a lot of sadness in this girl's eyes. It could have been like you didn't feel connected with these friends, or you didn't feel heard or really seen. Maybe just mimicked, copied, and maybe sometimes ridiculed. Okay? Um, I just want to let you guys know, where you don't feel heard, where you don't feel loved, it's not right. Okay? Um, it could have felt like these people really took you for granted by the looks of how they talk about you, or they used to think about you. Yeah, how they used to think about you. These people really took you for granted. Um, it's like her eyes is just looking at me a lot. Um, like a deep sadness, or like a deep loneliness, even surrounded by people. And they could have also thought that you were somebody that will defend them, okay? You were somebody that will knock the blocks out of anybody for them. Or even, stand up for them, okay? Puss in Boots, somebody very brave. Somebody so sensitive but also very brave, because we know the Puss in Boots, he could be sweet and also feisty. But it's like being so, it's almost like this was like very one-sided. These connections that you had, very one-sided, maybe will leave you empty. Maybe you would continue to give and give because maybe you felt like maybe some things were gonna change. Maybe you were gonna finally be really loved. Maybe you were gonna finally be heard. Maybe you were gonna get the, you were right, okay? But it's like maybe you never got that. But let's see here. What do they think about you now? What do these old friends think about my pal number 2 now? What do my pals, old friends, think about them now? What do my pals, old friends, think about them now? Let's see. Sacrifice. Ooh, ingenuity. Oh my God. Revelations in the reverse. Okay, so I'm gonna crack the skull. We have here duty. Now they think you got balls. All right, they think you got balls now. They think that you'll sacrifice anybody in your way, anybody in your way that comes in the way of your dreams, your happiness, who you are as a person. They're getting sacrificed, putting into that little bottle that Ariel has. Okay, ingenuity in reverse. It's like they're kind of almost realizing. Somebody told me how to pronounce this word. Am I saying it right? Somebody said it's ingenuity. I don't know. Listen, guys, I be forgetting sometimes. But listen, that card in reverse reveals to me that maybe you were more honest than they perceived you to be. Okay, something about a realization, revelations in reverse. Okay, um, these people can now be thinking about all the ways in which they were wrong about you, and the ways where their revelations or their predictions about you were almost incorrect or almost invalid. It's kind of like you switched the script on people, on who they thought you really were, or like how much you cared about them. This one is definitely how much you cared. A lot of air here, okay? You can have like an 8-house stellium like me. But also something about a lot of air. There's something like a sense of responsibility here. Maybe you made yourself more busy, more responsible. That's what they think about you, that you're more responsible. It can also mean here that they think about you they think about how genuine you were and how maybe they can't get that now. Somebody probably, one of your friends probably try to conspire against you, but it was like all BS at the end. It's like whatever they thought about who you were took them by surprise because it wasn't who you were. They could have felt like you were more sensitive than you actually were with the people that you've let in. Or they felt like maybe they were untouchable. I don't know. Maybe these people um, came from higher societies, or maybe there was some sort of connection here within you guys, like maybe a close one, familiar as well. Because sometimes our friends don't only have to be friends, they could be family. Let's see here. What do my pals to old friends think about them now? What do they think about them now? What do my pals old friends think about them now? Courage, wit again, and duty. We got duty already. Again, courageous, brave, okay? I don't feel like these people expected you to be so cold with them or like be better than them at their own game. I don't know why I heard that. Or like be better than them at the end, or not care as much as you did. You could have just isolated yourself from a group of people that have always just been toxic to each other, I heard, or a group of people that felt like you were never going to walk away, or like there was too much family connection, sports groups, I don't know, camps, whatever it was. These people weren't as loyal as you were to them, to you, and now they think that you were someone that should have been very valued. It's very sad as well when people lose a friend or like a person that they, like once you know that someone was really down for you, it's pretty sad. Okay? I have a friend that I ghosted like 2 years ago over a miscommunication. That's why, guys, ghosting is not always the way. Um, but yeah, and I'm still suffering for it because I'm still sending her messages. She doesn't even want to talk to me. So, I don't know, it's just like it made me remember that situation, because it was like, that was one friend that I've always said that I will go back to, because when I was around them, it was a lot of love. But not, there's certain people that will be like, oh no, because one thing about growing up and self-love is also realizing parts of yourself where you weren't your best, and owning up to it, apologizing or reaching back out to an old friend that could really, hear you out. But, some people, they won't forgive, but it's always worth the try. Okay. I will always love that friend, even if she doesn't want to be my friend or forgive me, that's fine. But, it kind of feels like that. Like, maybe you were all in for these people, pal number two, for real, because you love hard, all right? You love hard. You defend those that you love. But now they think that you have like this duty, like you're just focused on the responsibility aspects in your life. Like you don't have time for games, you don't have time for fake friends, you don't have time to sit around. You don't have time for them. And they could view you as very brave for even walking away. It's like you take the crown, because it's just something impossible about walking away about this. Like it's like you already look bigger by walking away. Pile number two. There's people here dealing with things, and maybe in that friend group or around these friends, that they shouldn't. And You take the crown for being the one to leave, honestly. You might have felt like maybe you were the odd one out, or maybe you were missing out on fun, maybe you were missing out on people. But what ended up happening is that you got all the spotlight on you again. Okay? You got all the lights and everyone looking at you because you came out of that crab bucket. Let's see, what do they think about my pal now? What do these old friends think about my pal now? Ooh, we got choice in reverse, wounds upright, and taboos in reverse. So again, these people could think that you have the choice to be around them, or you have a certain choice but you're not making it. Or it can also be that they think that they don't have any choice in your life. They don't have no say in your life at all anymore. Okay, it's like once they were in a position where they could make choices in your life, but they're no longer even a choice, all right? With wounds, it's like they're kind of realizing, you see how I was realizing about my issue with my friend? They're also realizing the wounds that they may have caused, or the ways that they weren't friends, they weren't real, they weren't good to you. These people could really be missing you, all right? And then for some people could be missing you, but then other people can now be shaming you because they miss you. So with taboos in reverse, if anybody is a psychic or a spiritual person watching this, they might think that you're into the craft, or you're out to do other things, okay? Or they just might not agree with your choices or your decisions to move away from them. So these people can, some of them can miss you, some of them could be angry and salty about the situation, pile number 2, because I just feel like these people kind of always wanted that control to be in your life in a way. You offer a lot, okay? You being your friend, people are not losing next to you. You know what I mean? You have a lot to offer in mind, intelligence, I said that, fun, personality. It's just, there's a lot that you can offer to others, opportunities as well. And it should be an honor to be around you, or even be seated at your table. I feel like these people took you for granted. They made you out to be like a fool or obsessed, or like, one of their little sheeps that they get to pick and play with. Not necessarily making you important at all, when all you did was be genuine. Somebody here could have been friends with an in-law, whatever. And I feel like these people constantly betrayed you, constantly revealed your secrets, constantly revealed things that maybe you trusted them with. They weren't the most honest. They were soul crushing, maybe even boring, just never fulfilling. Maybe you always felt drained, always felt annoyed, always felt like you wanted to escape, or you wanted a way out of these people's lives. Now you don't even give them the option to be around you. I don't feel like they have the option to even sit at your table, pile number 2. So yeah, that's all that I'm getting here. Thank you so much for clicking on this reading. Bye, guys. So for my viewers that picked pile number 3 with the black candle, a lot of intuitive witches here. And if not, you are very intuitive. Actually, anybody interested in tarot readings is intuitive. Just letting you guys know. So whenever people always text me like, oh, you guys, you inspired my intuitive side. You made me feel like I can make my own choices. It's like you always had it in you, guys. Like, you always had it in you, even if you had an interest in the occult. Let's see here. What did my pal's old friends think about them in the past? How did my pal's old friends view them in the past? Let's go. King of Cups, Six of Wands in reverse. Knight of Wands in reverse. The Magician in reverse. King of Pentacles, Four of Cups. These friends, they could have viewed you as somebody very funny, very charismatic, um, the life of the party, the enjoyment of the celebration. They could have also thought that there were a lot of rumors about you, a lot of spreaded rumors, a lot of bad things that were behind your name. Maybe you didn't have the best reputation. Pile number three. Your friends could have thought that you were fake when they, in the past. They could have felt like you were fake, or maybe like a cheater. Maybe you had somebody that had a lot of money when you were their friend and you was a cheater, something like that. You were unhinged, immature, and maybe you used people for money. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Pile three, take it if it resonates. Four of Cups in the reverse, unsatisfied. Um, your friends could have felt like they didn't know how to make you feel better, or they didn't know how to match your energy. Maybe your friends could have felt like you were better than them in a way, like you were always better than them, or that maybe you were better than them in certain aspects, but they had more money than you, or you had more money than them, or maybe there was a lack of money. It could be so many different situations, but that's coming up. Your old friends could have felt like maybe you started drama, or maybe you started things or situations, or maybe you attracted a lot of situations into your life. Your friends could have remembered you being not happy when they were your friends, like you weren't happy. But also this feeling that you couldn't be trusted. Maybe with their business, maybe with who they are as a person, which reminds me of certain people. Um, like, you never heard of like those party friends, like those people that you only party with, and like the relationship never gets deeper. Okay, it's like something like that. Maybe you had like a lot of superficial friendships where you were friends with people that really didn't consider you very important in their life, or not like a friend like maybe you thought of them. Let's see more cards here, honestly. Let's see more energy here. How did my pals three old friends think about them? What did my pal three old friends? Four of Pentacles and the reverse, Two of Swords and the Emperor. Yeah, like they were keeping things hidden from you. These could have been friends that kept a lot of secrets, that could have left you out a lot, um, or really didn't have nice things to say about you. And that's why it kind of manifested in in them not really taking you that serious. These people sound like they will put you down or talk down to you, maybe in your face, maybe behind your back. These people could have also felt like you were lucky in certain areas in your life, but you couldn't see it. So, like, mentally not grounded in a way. These people could have even treated you like you were dumb. I'm not gonna lie, Pal 3. Like, you were, like, very dumb, or not as bright as dumb. Even though you will be, like, in a powerful position, whether at school, whether at work, whether whatever. You know what I mean? It's like you could have been talked down by people that you were more educated than. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, like, really weird. It's like any type of form, like, these people would try to bring you down. And it's like, you wouldn't know much about them. So it's like they're thinking about how they kept things to themselves to basically ridicule your life. All right. And the reason about this is because there was something very abundant about you. King of Pentacles, the Magician, the Emperor, something very abundant about you. Whether it was your family, your background, your education, how you dressed, how you looked like. There was something very abundant about you. Or it could have also been even your personality that could have offended these jealous energies. Because this is a lot of jealousy, Pile 3. A lot of jealousy. Six of Wands in reverse is a lot of jealousy. Um, and Knight of Wands in the reverse is like jealousy that's continuous and that doesn't change. Okay, I don't feel like these people could have ever changed with you. All right, I don't think that they would have been better friends later on. I don't think that they would have switched. And I'm speaking about this, and it's reminding me about someone that I know from the past. And yeah, it just gives a sense of people that have you in their life just for entertainment purposes or just to have something to beat up in the group. The punching bag, that's what they call it. And even if you were aware of this or not, but they're recognizing with the King of Cups, your friendliness, your great communication skills, how you're the time of the party, the party of the time, whatever the hell. You guys get it. You guys are the life of the party. Yes, life of the party. Oh my God. Um, Sometimes when you do these readings, like your words, they just escape sometimes. But listen, guys, you could have had a lot of good personality traits, a lot of good things that made you a good person. But I feel like these people they just could have constantly highlighted the negatives about you. All right. And it could have been very draining or very lonesome. Okay. These, out of all the groups, Pal 3, these friends were the most judgmental. Okay. These were the critiques. These were freaking bitchs. All right. Like judgmental, mean, picky, always had something to say. They just thought you weren't right in the head. They just wanted to find reasons to say that you're not right in the head. Because it's like so much of you just screams authenticity. It screams only you. I'm going to keep it real, Pal 3. You have a light. You have an aura, a charisma that not a lot of people have. Not a lot of people have it. Not a lot of people have it. And that could have been very different for a lot of people that weren't used to having people like that in their life. Out of jealousy. And I feel like because of this authenticity that you had of being open, loud, fun, and also with this balance of responsibility with the Emperor, could have made these people want to constantly put you down or find the needle in the haystack out of jealousy. People can have more than you, Pal 3, and if you take the attention in the room, someone is going to feel offended. And it doesn't matter if that person has more than you or looks better than you. It doesn't matter, Pal 3. You, yourself, your personality, everything about you takes up too much space, Pal 3. You shine a lot. Effortless. And that caused a lot of jealousy between these friends or whoever this was. And I feel like there were already cliques with the Six of Wands. Something about there was already like a clicked form or a formed friendship. Like you were definitely the one out. Okay, Pal 3. So let's see here. What do they think about my Pal 3 now? What do these friends think about my Pal 3 now? Let's see. What do these friends think about my Pal 3 now? What do these friends think about Pal 3 now? Oh. They think they broke your heart. They think they broke your heart, Pal 3. I'm just gonna take these two cards. Yeah, I'm just gonna take these. Oh my God, I'm gonna just one more. I like this. I like this energy. Three of Swords upright with the Judgment and the Seven of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's like you almost broke these people because they kind of convinced themselves that you were weaker than them. You will always be under their foot. And the way maybe that you left them, or the way you never came back, or the way you never communicated, kind of makes it feel like you felt that way but about them. Like they were an irrelevant piece in your life. Like they didn't mean anything. That's how the karma played out in their lives. You could have chosen another side, chosen other friends, chosen other people, just decided to stay with a lover, okay? You pushed these people out and it made them feel all the feelings that they wanted you to feel, okay? Um, these people could have been judging themselves now, or they could have felt like you judge their actions towards you. But honestly, with the Seven of Wands in reverse and the Judgment in reverse, it kind of makes me feel like these people almost know what they've done to you. But it's like they want to highlight more what you ended up doing. Okay? You could have broken these people's egos walking away from them. You broke these people's spirit walking away from them. Because the whole time they was trying to make you feel like the loser. But the whole time, at the end, you made them feel like the loser. It was like, it was enough. Enough is enough. It's like those type of people that you're not important in their lives, but they just want to keep you there as entertainment. They're not supporting you. They're not nice. They're not giving you compliments. They're not giving you advice. They're not helping you out. They're not improving you. They're not doing nothing. And I'm not saying that people are a bag of opportunities, but damn, if you can't even make someone happy, what's the point? Okay? They could have felt like you were judging their actions, like you judged them as a person and the things that they did. It kind of almost made them feel like they were a bad person. Now the Cups, now they think that you're somebody that's always been lovable. They think now that you're very abundant, that you have your career in check, that you got things going on for you. Three of Cups, that you have newer people in your life. You have newer friends that you hang out with, that you love, that love you. These could have been also people that like to embarrass you in public. I'm not gonna lie, Pal 3, if you feel like these friends, like they did a lot of horrible things and maybe they sleep well at night, I'm gonna keep it real, they really don't. I feel like they feel harsh and they feel messed up for it. Maybe someone here has like kids. They think about their kids and how would they feel if somebody else treated their kid like they treated you? Like that type of Six of Pentacles in reverse. They think that you will never give to them, not like a crumb of energy, a crumb of attention. Like you will never give to them ever. Ever. Like you wouldn't, you know? And it's okay, Part 3. Sometimes growing up is realizing that maybe people that we might feel like are important to us, you know, we not important to them, basically. And it doesn't mean that we're lesser than, or we're weaker, dumber, we're whack. No, it just means that they're not who we're meant to be with. That's it. They're not on our they're not on our vibration. Okay? But yeah, these people definitely think now that you're happy, that you're better now, you look better, you have more now. They're very broken by your actions, okay? So let's see here. Any last energies on what do they think about my pal now? What do they think about my pal number 3 now? Let's see. Pal number 3. What is the old friends? Seven of Pentacles. The Sun in the reverse. Six of Cups in reverse. Yeah. They think you're somebody that gives up on things that don't work out. Things that they don't see like growth in. Things, the Sun, like in reverse, like people that they see. Basically, whatever is unhappy for you, you get out of it. You don't care how long you know someone. You don't care if you guys grew up together. You don't care if you don't care if they were there. If they're causing you this 10 of swords, you gotta go. And honestly, the way you left these people behind, Pile 3, it almost made them feel like they treated you like shit. It's also, I'm not gonna lie, it's like they didn't know how bad they treated you until you walked away. And it was almost like, who's the punching bag now? You know, Pile 3? You left, they're thinking about how you left them unhappy or like looking for answers. But they quickly realize that you walk away from everything that's unhappy for you. You could have done like some crazy shit. You could have cut off all your friends and your lover. I don't know why I heard some shit like that. But yeah, these people feel like now they think of you as somebody that puts yourself first, and whatever doesn't make you happy, it just gotta go. It doesn't matter the connection to it, the longevity. You don't care. Reminds me of a friend that it would never get better. It's like every time I thought I would get closer to them, they would just get worse and worse, right? And I feel like one moment in my life where I realized I really wasn't relevant in this person's life is that, they had this new boyfriend, and we will always hang out with the boyfriend all the time. I think I told the story before, but I always tell the story to remind people to choose people that love you. And so basically this person, they met their boyfriend, all of that. We would hang out all the time with her boyfriend. And even when the boyfriend would break her heart, I was there for her, listening to her feelings and watching her cry, whatever. Long story short, she gets pregnant. And, I'm just excited for her. Anyways, I wasn't even invited to the gender reveal. So they would hang out with me all the time. But when it came to like a beautiful celebration that was a part in their lives, I wasn't even invited. And I know people are going to say, but some gender reveals are very private. Yeah, like very private, like grandpa, whatever. But there were also other friends there. I just wasn't there. So that made me realize my importance in that person's life. And it kind of made me realize, maybe I have to back off. Okay? And I doubt she'll ever watch this. But, sending love to you, sweetheart. Just a fun story to tell. But no matter, and no matter how people treat you, it's just, I feel like also this person, they could have judged you very harshly. They could have had like too high expectations for you, but not for the other people in their lives. You know what I mean? Like, and this person could have really brought you down with their words. I know that person did as well. Because I wasn't that important to them. I was just the their friend, the punching bag. Okay? But Pile 3, I just want you guys to know that these people now, yes, they're in regret. They know what they did. And I feel like overall, you kind of taught them a lesson of learning. No, not teaching or learning. But basically, they learned that they shouldn't play with everybody. Not everybody should be disrespected, because some people will walk away from your life and never look back. Like, some people will take certain things, but there'll be a moment that person will never want to see you again. And I'm going to tell somebody something. Nothing plays harder on your self-esteem than someone that ghosts you or never comes back to your life. Yo, that plays with people's self-esteem's crazy. Okay? So that's all that I'm getting here. Thank you so much for clicking on this reading. Bye, guys.